It's Scorpio season, my friend. Welcome back. Danny Simoni's here with your Sidereal Astrology Forecast for November 18th through the 24th. We've got a few things happening this week that I want to let you know about. If you are new here, welcome. We're so glad that you found us. This is your place to learn about sidereal astrology, to get insights on your personal growth and development, self mastery, as well as business strategies using astrology and spirituality. One of my favorite things is to help you really bridge that between life and business and bringing spirituality into both of those. So, if you do not know, we have a podcast called the Cosmic Mystic Podcast. So if you're listening on the podcast, hey, my friend. If you are here on YouTube with me, welcome. So this goes on both platforms. So if you want to see the charts and see the transits and get an idea of what that looks like, which I highly recommend, then come on over to YouTube, Keeping It Real with Sidereal, which we might be changing the name. We'll see. And then you can also listen to this on the podcast. If you just want to take me on your walk, if you want to listen to me while you're working or doing things around the house, driving, that is my favorite way to listen to podcasts, then you can find us on all the top platforms as well. Spotify, Apple, and so on. I know there's more. Plus, it is here on the channel as well. All right, so let's take a look at the state of our planets right now, where everybody is, and what's going on. All right. As you can see here, we've got our sun in Scorpio. That's right. Our sun moved into the beautiful Scorpio energy. So it's going to be traveling through this part of our sky here. We also have Mercury here in Scorpio. Now, remember, Mercury is going to be going retrograde very soon at the end of this month. And so it's preparing right now. We are in the shadow. We've got Venus over here in Sagittarius at 14 degrees. We've got Pluto, as you can see, is still in Capricorn. I've seen a lot of social media posts out there from our tropical friends who have been saying we're at the end of a 16-year journey. And nope, that's not actually true. Pluto is still in Capricorn. It will be in Capricorn for quite a bit longer. It's only, as you can see, at 5 degrees there. All right, let's keep going. We've got our Saturn down here in Aquarius. Saturn is in Aquarius. It is out of its retrograde. We've got Neptune in Pisces. Our North Node is currently in Pisces. Chiron in Pisces, all which are retrograde, along with Uranus right here at 0 degrees Taurus. Jupiter here in Taurus, also retrograde. We kick off this week with our moon in Gemini. We've got Mars over here in Cancer, still in Cancer. It'll be there for a little bit longer. And we've got our South Node here in Virgo. All right, that is the state of our planets. Let's go ahead and dive into our sun and some of the transits that we're having. We don't have a whole lot of transits happening this week with our sun. We do have one that I want to share with you, which is the Sun trine Mars that is coming in midweek here. There we go. Sun trine Mars, and you'll see right there our moon will be conjunct it. So there's a lot of emotional energy right off the bat with this, but this really boosts our confidence, our enthusiasm. If you've been wanting to start a new project or get into motivated to doing a new project, this is a really good time to do that. Feeling much more stronger and courageous. This is a really good time to understand what motivates you. Now, as someone who definitely loves to explore how we think and how we are what drives us. This is a big topic for me. I love to understand what motivates people because we're not all motivated by the same thing. And so I'd encourage you to kind of look at what is your motivation strategy? And when I say that is like, what has to happen? I learned this when I learned NLP was we have different strategies for different things, and it's the way in which we do something. So the way in which we buy something, right? We might be somebody that actually needs to tangibly touch the thing in order to buy it. It's one of the reasons why shopping online for clothes is really hard for me. For one, I am 5'1", I am a size 14, and so the clothing that I wear, right? It not all clothing, right, fits me right. And so I really need to like see it. I want to touch it to know if it's the material that I really want. That is something that comes in with my buying strategy. So if you're like me or your customers are like me, they need to touch the thing. They need to actually see it and feel it in their hands, and then they're able to make that next step in their strategy. If that's cut out, it kind of messes up the strategy and actually doesn't lead us to buy. So that's why one of the things that I love is these influencers that I get to follow on social media, where I see them wearing the clothes and they have a similar body shape to me, and they talk about how comfy it is or how cozy it feels or how soft it feels. Those things actually help me make a decision about, oh, I want to go look at that, even though I'm buying something online. Now, I know I'm going off into this whole other realm over here. I just took a little detour, but this is such a good time because of this Sun trine Mars to really look at what's motivating you. And also from the flip side of that, what's not motivating you. So I would definitely look at what your motivation strategy is. What are the steps that have to happen to get you motivated to do something? Okay. We also have that sun in opposition to Uranus, which we've had for a bit, and it is actually falling off towards the end of the week here on Friday. This is our last day. We'll see it clear on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see that energy of all that like crazy change and just things just kind of unexpectedly happening. We're going to see that fall off to the wayside. All right, let's talk about our moon and where our moon's going to be this week. So we did just have our full moon last week. And so we are moving away for that and preparing for new moon. Now, we still have another few weeks until new moon, but the energy is starting to slow down. This is a great time this week from the lunar cycle perspective to finish up any of those last minute things that you need to get done towards your monthly intention or your cycle intention. So if you did a new moon intention, which I highly recommend on the new moon, when we get to that full moon, that's that opportunity to celebrate the things that we have done and also release any of the energy around maybe what we haven't done, where we've got blocked, where we got stopped, and then take this next week to really amp up on, okay, what do I still have to do? What still needs to get done, and how am I going to do that? Like where is that going to fit into my schedule, and really working on those things over this week, because next week, which is Thanksgiving here in the US, we are going to kind of slow down a little bit from work, right? There's a lot of people that take that week off. I used to like to take as much time as I could off during the holidays, just because this could get really chaotic, right? Now I know that like I have some easier days. I probably won't have a lot of sessions over that next week because a lot of people are traveling and doing different things. So I know that week is also going to slow down. Plus, we're also preparing for new moon that week. So that is really getting into that slower period. All right, so now as we step into looking at what zodiac signs we're moving through, because remember, our moon is our emotional energy. And for many of us, our emotions drive us. So we've got our moon here in Gemini, as I said at the beginning, and we'll have Gemini until Tuesday. So the moon will transit through Gemini till Tuesday. Now, Gemini is an air sign, so it's a lot of thoughts and ideas. It's a great time for those quick, short tasks. This isn't the time to really get into the deep work. That you're going to save that for later on this week. And really not to like end of Sunday, really. This week there's a lot of movement energy. It's not anything too deep, let me just say. When we get to Wednesday, the moon's going to move into Cancer. I always recommend during a water moon that you take some time to refill your cup. So yes, it is the middle of the week. However, there are still some things that you can do, like maybe have a slower morning, or maybe take a longer lunch period, or go to a yoga class to kind of slow down a little bit, go to a sound healing, go to a meditation, or listen to this on YouTube. There's tons of resources, my friends. Plus, if you want to do some breath work, I've got my Breathe with Danny podcast. It's a 22-day challenge on there. There's going to be some more added as we go on through this next year, but it's $22 for 22 somatic breathwork practices that are about 22 minutes long. So you can take some time, even just those 22 minutes, to do a breathwork practice that will really help you, like, really come into yourself, take some really quality time. If there are things that you like to do, like maybe taking some extra time to read or to journal or to just make yourself a nice, as my friend, Victoria Sexton with Fortuna Cucina loves to do, make a nice little mocktail during the week in a fancy little cup. And if that feels good to you, because that feels good to me, then that's something you can do. But something to slow down and really fill your cup, and being intentional with it is key. And we'll have this on Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday through Sunday, it's going to speed up. The energy is going to speed up again because we'll be moving through Leo. Leo is a fire energy, and Leo is all about being out there, being seen, being heard, being with the people, really in that more of a movement energy. Again, still not into the details of things just yet. That will be when we get to Virgo by the end of Sunday. However, we still got a lot of movement energy here. So you can see there's like, we kick off, we've got a lot of air, a lot of research, quick things, wrapping things up, little details on things. And then we move into like, just take a pause for a minute, really connect in with yourself. And then we're going to hit the ground running for the weekend. So I anticipate lots of energy coming in for the weekend. So make your plans now. All right, let's go ahead and look at a couple of other transits with Mercury. We just got one with Mercury, and we've got a couple with Venus that I want to talk about. We're going to come over here to the 20th for this one with Mercury. All right, so Mercury has this opposition to Jupiter, which we talked about last week, and it also has this trine over here to Chiron. But then we're going to have this Neptune come in here on the 21st. So this is on Thursday. So let's talk about what that is for Mercury, because remember, Mercury is our thinking, it's our communication, it's how we process information. And Neptune is really more of that spiritual, intuitive, kind of outside, like 5D type energy, right? So the Neptune energy can distort our thinking a little bit, causing some confusion, causing decisions to be a little bit more complicated, because it's just not quite clear. There's just this haze around things, like all the details kind of aren't there, and our thinking can get a little distorted. So we want to be really careful during this time about some of the decisions that we're making. And yes, my friend, this is going through Thanksgiving. Okay, so giving and receiving instructions can be a little bit difficult because there's not quite the clarity, and this is where mishaps start to happen, right? Mercury is going to be going retrograde during this period. So again, there's really high opportunities for miscommunication. So my advice to you right now is to be crystal clear. Remember, clear is kind. If you are telling somebody that you're going to arrive at 5 p.m. or asking them, what time would you like us to arrive? What specifically do you want me to bring? Right? Getting these details kind of cleared now would be my recommendation, because it could get a little confusing towards the end of this week here. The other thing with this is, because Neptune is so dreamy and so creative, we can come up with the best stories. Our imagination can just run wild. So maybe somebody says something and you take it completely different and have this whole story about what that person is doing or not doing or should be doing, or the intention behind what they did. And we can make up these beautiful stories. Let me just say. So I want you to be cautious of that. This is why we want to keep things crystal clear. Now, if you do engage in any type of substances, like drugs or alcohol, it can also amplify that energy a bit too. So just be really careful about the things that you are consuming and how much you're consuming them, because we can get into some really crazy complications and confusion, and all the things. So I'm going to invite you, my friend, to just keep things crystal clear. All right. And then the next one I wanted to talk about is for Venus. So we've got two things happening with Venus here. Number one is the first one with this Saturn. You can see the Saturn sextile here. I'm sorry. Right here, coming in on the 17th. So this came in on Sunday, and I talked about it in our last forecast, but I just want to remind you, because it is going to be through this week into next week. This is where we want to feel that connection with somebody. We want to feel valued by somebody, or are the people that are around us. We're more practical, and there's more of like a practical approach, or more like common sense approach to things with Saturn, especially around love and money in particular, as well as just the physical, your physical environment. This would also be a time where I would say working on a savings plan, paying off debt. This is a really good time to look at that, or those things that are like more long-term commitment kind of ideas. And then the last one here on the 23rd, coming in here on Saturday, we've got this square over here to Chiron. And remember, Chiron is our deepest wounds. It's and with Venus here, this is relationships. So this might be current relationships that are triggering some old wounds, or this is old wounds from past relationships that could be coming forward in our current relationships. There could be some, heartache or frustrations around unresolved losses, whether that is somebody that you've lost in your life or a relationship that has ended. This It might feel like sometimes that people are against you with this transit, like everybody's against you and they're pushing you to be your best, and it feels like, though, that they're against you, that they're the enemy, right? So people might be wanting to push things onto you. This can also come into play here. What I like about this transit in particular is it really helps me gain clarity on what's most important to me. Whatever it is, it's most important to me right now. All right, my friend, that is our sidereal astrology forecast. I only had a few things for you today, not much going on in our sky that's really affecting anything too majorly. I would say that there are some great things coming up. We do have that Mercury retrograde coming up. We do have our new moon coming up. So there's a lot that we can work with. And there are, and I say this not a lot, but there were some big things in here, right? So really some of the takeaways I would say today, and I'd love to hear yours in the chat, is clear as kind, is be very clear about the languaging, the messaging, the communication, whether it's with your family, with your friends, with your clients. And then to also make sure that you are taking time for you during this week. I do know that we're in preparation for when what I see is once Thanksgiving hit, it's like it's just it can the energy gets so like chaotic and in this really hustle go do all the things. And so I'm going to invite you to take some time over these next couple of weeks to really look at what it is that you want in these next 30 days. Do you want to slow down, or is this your time to speed up? Now, for me, this is my time to speed up because from my astrological energy, this is my prime time to speed up and be very visible in my business, which is why you'll see me doing a couple of things in the next couple of weeks because this is my time, right? So if you do not have a mentor, my friend, that can guide you in strategy and soul alignment, I would love to be your mentor. You can simply click on the link in the description or in the show notes below and schedule a call with me to see what that might look like. On that call, we're going to see what's currently going on in your astrology and see what the next best steps for you to take. We also have a lot coming up over the next few weeks with Sacred CEO Circle. I have a Black Friday offer. We've got our new moon in Scorpio. So, a lot going on that I want you to know about. So, you can find all of that down below. All right, my friend, this wraps up our Sidereal Astrology Forecast. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you soon. Until then, my friend, take a deep breath with me and close your eyes. And find peace.